and we're going to kick off with a country from the US of A. We're delighted to be joined by Apple, and they are helping the world build AI that people can trust. We are delighted to be joined by their co-founder and CEO. Ladies and gents of South Summit 22, please welcome to the stage, Matt Waite.
By 2025, it is predicted that AI will drive over 85% of our interactions. In that same time, AI will consume hundreds of times more data than the entirety of human existence before. How we manage this data efficiently to maximize accuracy and profits and govern this decision-making to protect both customers and businesses is critical to sustaining a responsible future. My name is Matt Waite. I'm the CEO and co-founder of Apray, and I'm here to show you how we're helping the world build AI people can trust. What is the cost of bad data? To the US economy, $3 trillion per year. To the average person, mortgage decisions that can impact your everyday life. To the rest of the world, we support atrocities that are inhuman. Risk models have a data problem. They rely on silos of expertise, they continuously degrade, they're notoriously hard to understand. These issues contribute to over 80% of AI development time and what drive 50% of models to fail from pilot to production. We knew there was a better way. A way to network your data to grab the insights needed to improve these model results. Let me introduce you to Apray, the engaged AI platform. With Apray, we're able to integrate with any model you'd like, from credit risk to payment fraud. We'll explain your model decisions so that every person in this room can understand. We'll capture your feedback, and we'll drive that to produce improvements. Now, the proof is in the results. With every single model that we've ever integrated with, we have an average performance increase of 20%. That's working with top 20 FSIs, top 500 companies, average of 20%. Not in years, not in months, in days. Now, we've only been in market for a few months, but we've been able to capture $100,000 of enterprise contract value with a pipeline of deals that look the exact same. 9 pilots in production, 8 in negotiation, all with land contracts between $50,000 to $60,000, a multi-million-dollar pipeline. Now, our business model is best articulated in the way that we charge. We charge fraction of a cent for every row of data that we consume. Models consume data. We consume that information at a 70% gross margin. What that means is that we're able to interact with the models that they already have, help them drive the results that they need, and deliver results that have a high ROI. Now, this is only possible because of the team that we've put together, from published AI authors to scientists from places like Bridgewater, raising $1.5 million by some of the best deep tech investors in Europe, to being spotted as one of the 100 hottest startups in Europe. We come together because we believe that good data can drive positive change. My name is Matt Waite. I'm the CEO and co-founder of Apray. We're targeting a multi-trillion-dollar opportunity that affects every single person in this room. We have traction with some of the world's biggest companies, and we're ready to make that change. Thank you. Fun? All right. What do we do now?
Phenomenal. What a strong pitch. Absolutely on the money, literally, and within 3 minutes. Great job, Matt. But what did our judges think? They are sharing their thoughts with the South Summit Mothership via the medium of magical iPads. They've all been given to mark our competition. Do we have any questions? We have a maximum of 2 questions from the judges. If we don't have any questions, that's totally cool. It means that Matt answered them all. And that was a great presentation. Okay, we have no questions. No, but we have a question from the front. Man in a fashionable blue jacket. If you could introduce yourself to the room. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Pedro Muñoz from BBVA. My question is, how do you scale the model, and if you could bring the solution to Spain, for example, or to other countries around Europe?
Yeah, so the technology we use is called an inductive graph. So think of this as the same infrastructure that drives Netflix, it drives Google, it drives Facebook. So when we're trying to scale this, actually the technology is set to scale to billions of data points. We can actually downsample the data. If you guys at BBVA, you have billions of transactions, right? We're actually able to operate on a fraction of those, which make this super scalable. So we can move into new countries, we can interact with new data. We're actually agnostic in the markets and data we interact with.
Great question. Yes, and if you could introduce yourself, thank you.
Well done, mate. Borja from Cafan. Where is the secret sauce? From a tech perspective, where is your defensibility?
So that same infrastructure that I just described pretty much ends at research. There are companies that built their entire organizations around that core piece of infrastructure. Netflix is Netflix because of this. What we're able to do is we're able to abstract that, put that into a product that is easily digestible by banks like BBVA, and then not only do we allow them to use deep learning, but we translate those into features that are compliant so that you can use deep learning in an explainable way so that BBVA can see those 20% performance increases, and we can help them manage that through time.
Tremendous. Ladies and gents, a huge round of applause from Matt Waite from Apre. Thank you. Wow, what a strong start. And did you notice when he was answering the questions, it was like the pitch was continuing. He was always kind of illustrating the value of the business. That's a sign of a experienced pitcher. That was really good. But what you're seeing here is that all of our pitchers have been through rounds and rounds and rounds to get to this stage. They have practiced this pitch, finally tuned it and honed it, and are absolutely delivering the best of the best. Speaking of which, we are now going to move on to a company from Austria. They are called vssurance, and they provide embedded insurance, fair and relevant protection where and when it matters. We are delighted to be joined by our next speaker. He looks after business development at vssurance. Please give a huge round of applause for Thomas Rettenwander.
Good pronunciation. Good morning, my name is Thomas from vssurance. vssurance is an Insurtech focused on embedded insurance. And embedded insurance is all about bringing insurance back to its core, protecting people. The way we do that is through integration in B2C channels, not insured channels, because as a consumer, we don't really care about insurance, but we do care about feeling safe and being protected. So I'll share a little story with you that reached its climax in the following image. Looks rather nice, doesn't it? Wrong, it doesn't. It's where you end up with food poisoning in Mexico without travel insurance that covers medical expenses. Of course, I would have preferred going here, only about 20 minutes away from the previous location. But then again, this was about 10 years ago, and I didn't feel like paying an annual travel insurance for a 2-week trip. And that's where embedded insurance comes in. This is a real-life example of a collaboration with a bank, where we've integrated a short-term travel insurance that allows you to book for 2 days, for 2 weeks, and not necessarily a whole year, the insurance you need. And the real beauty here is that it's transaction-based. So whenever you book something or you get a plane ticket, you get a push notification reminding you to also get the relevant insurance. And while abroad, you might want to do some shopping, so you want to make sure that whatever you buy or order is delivered to your home address without damage, another collaboration with a payment provider. Or you might be doing a safari, need some photo equipment. So this is a platform where we've integrated a device protection in the rental scheme. They're all examples of the projects we've been working on over the past 4 years, currently active in 8 European countries with a very international team of over 30 people. So how do we do what we do? We're not just a cloud-based API platform integrating insurance products. We're also a managing general agent, which allows us to do everything from product development to real-time policy issuing and claims handling. What that means is that we help insurance companies rethink their products for digital channels and implement within a number of weeks. We help our B2C partners increase their trust, customer satisfaction, loyalty, but also their revenue. And most importantly, we help consumers get access to fair and relevant protection where it matters most at the point of need. So let's work together on the future of insurance, on protecting your customers, and let's discuss your business case. Thank you. Cheers.
Fantastic. Wonderful stuff there from Thomas. Actually brought it in within 2.5 minutes. Now, that's a lightning pitch. Okay, our judges are tapping at their iPads, sending their thoughts up to the magical South Summit cloud, where the results will be revealed here at 4:30 today. We'll see the winner of the Fintech and Insurtech category. But what do our judges think? Were there any questions, any points left unanswered? Would they like to get under the hood any more of vssurance, or did that cover absolutely everything? Our judges are looking convinced, they're looking confident. There are no questions from the judges. Ladies and gents, a big round. Oh, we have a question. Lad, yes, go right. If you could introduce yourself, amigo. Gracias.
So I'm Damien Boston from Conexo Ventures. Can you give us an idea of the revenue growth and your customer base?
Sure. So we've had a 120% growth over the last year. When we look at specific clients, we can see that the written premium is increasing. There's examples with 26% monthly growth, 100% yearly growth with specific customer cases. We currently have a revenue of a few million and are continuously growing further in additional markets in Europe.
Great question. Very good. Absolutely. Let's see some revenue figures. Yes, to the lady at the corner there, if you could pass down the microphone. Thank you so much. And if you wouldn't mind introducing yourself. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Julia from Wheel Acceleration. What is your growth plan outside of Europe, if you have one?
Currently focused on Europe. Very vital for us is the combination of being an MGA and a broker and the SaaS platform. Because of regulatory limitations, we first want to really grow and stabilize in the European market, where the pie is it's big enough, 140 billion according to a Simon Torrance study. So that's the focus for the coming years.
Awesome question. Thank you so much. 2 fantastic questions from the judges. You see why they're here. I'm so sorry. Only 2 questions. We'll come to you for the next one. Ladies and gents, a big round of applause. Thomas Rettenwunder from Insurance. Thank you. Okay, exciting times. We are going to keep the pace absolutely running. So we are now delighted to be joined by a wonderful company from Spain. And their promise to you is, we market your mortgage, they bid for you. That sounds super interesting. We are thrilled to be joined by their CEO. Please give a very, very warm welcome to Stefano Scardia from Kolibeat.
Hi everybody, I'm very happy to be here. I represent Kolibeat and we make the banks bid for your mortgage. So, be honest, to ask for a mortgage is a very complicated process, very struggling for most of the customer, unclear and bureaucratic. It's not only a problem for the customers, but on the other side, their banking during the last 10 years have closed down more than 15% of the branches, reducing the capacity to really attend in a correct way, fast and efficient customer. And this is very costly in terms of losing customers in favor of other banks. Why we come out with the idea to solve this problem in a very straightforward, simple way? Kolibeat allowed the customer in our platform to register for a mortgage application in one place and connect directly with 37 banks and 360 brokers across the market space. And they can bid for this customer in the first reverse mortgage auction ever created in Europe. How we do it is very simple. The customer follow up our forms in only 4 minutes, upload the DNI, the NIE, and in only a few minutes we retrieve all the documentation that this customer needs to create a financial profile. And this is go directly in a stream flow of deals for all the national banks that are participate in our ecosystem. And by 3 days, the customer receives several options, and they select only one they like, and all the documents and the documentation go straight forward to the CRM of the banks, so they can close the file and give the mortgage to the customers. This means save a lot of time for the customers, and this open environment allows the customer also to save a lot of money. And on the other side, the other big winners are actually banks and brokers. It's hard to believe, but actually the average broker closes 7-8 deals per month, but with Kolibeat they actually triple up this volume. And also the banks reduce the spend of managing these kind of deals. We make money in a very simple way. We charge 0.6% at the success fee at the end when the customer gets the mortgage, and we are completely free for the customers. On the other side, we need to see that this market are booming, not only in Europe, but also in the US market. So more than 6% of the transactions right now are made by the digital mortgage platforms. And the market is extremely big, so they give opportunity for everybody to actually participate. We're talking about 1.79 trillion only in Spain of existing mortgage, and 440,000 new mortgage every year, 37,000 per month. We are not a broker, we are not a banks, we are not a comparator, we are not a digital brokers, we are a blue ocean. We are the first reverse mortgage auction ever created. The numbers speak for us. We launched in January 2021. 22, sorry. This is not months, they are weeks. We're now managing more than 600 million euro. This presentation was done 2 weeks ago. We already crossed the 600. We raised 2.5 million in seed round, and that's it.
I'm afraid a big round of applause for Kolibeat.
Thanks, sorry.
I'm so sorry. I feel so rude, but you know, it's sort of how the startup pitches work. It's so difficult to get all that information into those 3 minutes. So was there anything that our judges thought, oh, I want to know, okay, we have one, two, who hands up? Okay, lady there, if you could introduce yourself, please, thank you.
Thank you, Stefano. This is Rosa Seone from Abanca Innova. How are you planning to grow your business? I mean, countries, partnerships?
Absolutely. This model is extremely scalable, not only in Europe, in terms of like we use some kind of regulation, they call EIDAS. We follow the protocol and the law of the Banco de España, but it's extremely duplicable in several countries. That's going to allow several banks interconnect through our platform and maybe catch customers only, for example, not from Spain, but also like somebody won't buy a house in Spain from Germany, from Italy, from France. As long as in the European community, we have a huge upside. But we can also create several other verticals with the same technology, also in the space of a private loan, not mortgage, loan to customer in other segments with the same technology.
Great question. Thank you so much. We have one more question. Yes, gentleman with the white jacket. Yeah. Thank you.
Hi.
Introduce yourself.
Joan Sintes from Plain Concepts. Can you explain you a little bit more, with no a lot of detail, the technology that is behind this image recognition of the IDs and all the documentation that you're using?
Absolutely. So we need to follow a very strict regulation here in Spain. They are like controlled by the Banco de España. We are actually use a technology that allowed to use the ID reconnaissance and voice reconnaissance of the customers, and this is integrated with Kolibeat. We generate a digital certificate, and thanks for this digital certificate, we can access to Banco de España, Hacienda, Seguridad Social in minutes, and we download for only 24 hours the document that we use to extract all the digital information and financial information of the customers. That is the way we package in only a few minutes the process. Then the other big part is like that we connect and expose this to all the banks that partner up with us and the brokers.
Fantastic, and I'm afraid we only have time for 2 questions. I will come to you for a future question. Ladies and gents, a huge round of applause from Kolibeat, Stefano Scadia. Fantastic. You can see why our judges are here. The questions they ask get under the skin of the pitch to get more information. Was there something missing? They know exactly what it is, and they know what question to ask. I am always impressed. So we're going to move immediately on to another fantastic company from Spain. Their tagline is, "Small steps for humans, a giant leap for finance." Ladies and gents, please welcome to the stage the CEO and co-founder of Namuru, Pere Monraz. Thank you.
Hi, good morning all. I'm Pere Monraz, CEO and co-founder of Namuru. We're here to talk about embedded lending, not embedding insurance for all and accessible to all. I think everything started some years ago, before we mentioned about PayPal. So basically all the transformation, first as the payments infrastructure, and afterwards how all banking as a service layers have been built in the past years. We definitely think like credit as a service tools is going to be a way of really the next big move in the space. Why? So because basically consumers have definitely evolved, not only through BNPL, but also on the digital expectations they have when buying. And they prefer definitely transparent and subscription models rather than hidden fees and credit. But also because the brands definitely want to become banks. We've talked about Apple and the BNPL model. And also all the fintechs gaining space, they need to monetize, and monetizing through credit is a good idea. And banks need for speed and need to catch up in these type of solutions. Okay. So basically, there is a 3 problem here. The retailer or marketplaces, they face a problem of disaggregated offer. So they basically do have BNPL options, they do have in-store options, they do have high ticket, low ticket, a lot of options for being with the customer, but none of them cover really the full spectrum. Of course, payment orchestrators are looking at the space, but they usually do it by partnering with one financial institution. They don't need to, okay? And of course, banks do the typical approach of do-it-yourself, which basically lasts for a couple of years and a great amount of investment. So how we basically build the platform. So we do have the platform that connects, or without integration through our front-end applications or through APIs and our library, connect with retailers, banks, or fintechs and banks, and then match this point-of-sale finance tool to different capacities in terms of lending. And we do have and work with the different kind of partners and financial institutions backing these operations. So basically, we offer a boosted BNPL solution. We do up to 50,000 and up to 120 months to understand that it's not a pure buy now, pay later option, with different type of financial products and more than 30 verticals where we operate. But we also do it in a white labeling way. So for these brands, these even banks or financial institutions that want to launch their own products, we build them for them in weeks. Okay? Of course, everything related with being fully credit responsible and with the security that gives us all the ICO's certifications in terms of data privacy and security. This is how we've been growing the last year. Multiplying a little bit, so the average quarterly growth being 50% in terms of GMV, also in terms of revenue, which is quite tightened. Of course, no need to say the big opportunity on the space without need of being ourselves the funding, and we are not tied to the debt market in this sense. Okay.
Ladies and gents, a huge round of applause for Namuru. Thank you. Excellent work, Per. Excellent work communicating so much information and data. Did I see a hand go up there? Yes, the mic is flying, and your good self there, definitely. Question 2.
Hi, Per.
Hello.
Well done. Great presentation. This is a little of an obvious question, but I don't want you to miss the opportunity to explain here. Apple, well, some corrections in the market recently for buy now, pay later, and Apple joining the space as well. So what is your feeling? What is the opportunity today? Is it better? Is it worse?
I think the opportunity is better. In fact, it's not all brands are Apple, right? There are a lot of brands, and a lot of brands that will launch their own solutions, their embedded solutions, without needing to specifically join Klarna or Affirm. If we speak about the pure BNPL, because most of them also have a big spectrum. I mean, you go to a furniture house, and they do sell in e-commerce, they do sell in store, they do sell 300 euros, they do sell 5,000 euros, right? So having this type of orchestrator and really bringing all these lending solutions, all of them digital without documentation for the customer, I think it's an asset for them.
Fantastic, great question, Borja. Thank you. And we are now going to move the mic down to the stylish lady in the corner. If you could introduce yourself to the crowd. Thank you.
Thanks. This is Elena from MasterCard. Maybe you were going to mention that, but what's your funding status right now? Like how much money you've raised so far, and what's your
We've raised around 4 something million. Okay. This is what I was about to say that this type of models and embedded lending and closer to buy now, pay later doesn't need to be so capital intensive of some things we've seen around, right? So this is our funding stage. Of course, our next step, already with the signed partners we have, goes further our local market, European market being first, and these are our actual stage.
Fantastic. Thanks. 2 great questions from our judges, a great presentation. Ladies and gents, give it up for Per Munras. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Excellent stuff. Such a high standard. Now, I say this every time, but I really do not envy the judges. They have to choose between all of these fantastic pitches. And I don't know how they do it, but I'm glad they do, and I'm glad it's not me. So thank you all again for being here and making the difficult choices. Okay, we are now going to stay in beautiful Spain and welcome a company called Payflow Digital. Payflow is a mobile app that allows employees to get paid whenever they want, wow, instead of once a month. And we are delighted to be joined by their co-founder. Please welcome to the stage, Avinash Suchwani. Thank you. Welcome.
Hello. Hi, everyone. Glad to be here. So I'll start with a question. Today, I don't think anyone here has been paid. And the question is why, right? There is no good reason for this whatsoever. Okay, we've worked 9 days. I don't know if today is a working day, but let's consider it work. We haven't gotten paid for that, and there is really not a single good reason. Yes, it's a pain for companies. Yes, it would be completely messy to get people to get money whenever we want, but now we can, and this is Payflow. So we sell it as an employee benefit to companies in Latin America and Europe, and it's a mobile app that will allow you to get paid as you work. The same idea that when you get a pizza on Glovo, the person has just delivered it, he gets paid. Well, you can do the same with any type of work. So we're bringing this flexibility from the gig economy to the entire economy. Yeah. So we've started in Spain, and we're present in 6 countries, mostly Latin America and Spain, backed by renowned investors. We just finished Y Combinator last year and raised our Series A of $9 million. And it was led by Seaya and Kate. And we would work with around 300 corporate clients with a couple of verticals, but it's really a market that is global, right? So it's became a category of fintech. There's actually 140 players globally, right? So it's one of the most built B2B fintech model in the world. And we're market leaders in every single country we're in. So let me tell you a little bit more about the product. So we started with Payflow. That was like the biggest pain. That is, okay, I want to get paid for whatever I've worked. And this was something that was very well known. And then we expanded to give a more holistic financial well-being platform, starting with LearnFlow and then going into SaveFlow. And I'll show you a little bit how it works. So Payflow is extremely simple. You're seeing how much you're earning, and then you choose the amount, you press, and you get it instantly and in a private and secure way. LearnFlow is an e-learning platform that will allow you to basically have classes and learn about financial well-being. And SaveFlow is a way to save completely seamlessly, right? So you will be able to redirect a part of your salary in small wallets, and this will allow you to save in a much easier way than the typical saving process, right? And I think it's very important that we would be presenting that as an employee benefit, right? So there are a lot of products around that would be selling it to the employee, that are microloans, or that are basically a kind of a payday loan. And we really are into the benefit positioning, because we really believe that employees should get access to their salary as they work. Thank you. This is Payflow.
Fantastic. Payflow. And I have a small correction to make. As in some football games, a substitution can be made, and we were delighted to have a last-minute substitution. This gentleman's name is actually Benoit Menardo. So my apologies for getting the name totally wrong. My bad. Okay, it does happen sometimes. Right, so that was Payflow. We have 2 questions immediately. Gentleman in the blue jacket, and then the lady in the black shirt. Thank you. If you could introduce yourself again. Thank you, Gracie.
Thank you very much, Pedro Muñoz from BVA. My question is, can you tell us a little bit about numbers, roadmap, expectations, your forecast, etc.?
Yeah, sure. So like basically in terms of number of clients, we mentioned around 300 clients. Present in Spain, Italy, Portugal, Colombia, started in Chile, and now Peru. In terms of, we would measure the volume that we're moving every month. So right now we're moving around $2 million a month, right? And we announced recently that we passed the 100,000 transactions, right? So transactions are pretty, like the amount of transaction is really small, right? So we're talking like 50 to 70 euros per transaction. So that gives you an idea of the scale. In terms of products, so I mentioned like moving more towards the well-being products, and in terms of roadmap on a country perspective, so staying in Southern Europe and Latin American countries.
Excellent question. Great detail there off the bat. The lady in the black shirt, if you could introduce yourself to the room. Thank you.
Yes, I'm Virginia Bassano from 8roads. One question related to the business model. Currently, your clients pay based on a number of employees. And a few of your competitors are changing model, making employees paying for these services.
Yeah.
What do you think about this? And is it different from country to country, or what do you think is the best approach?
Yeah, I think, I mean, it's okay, this is an interesting question. So there's the pricing and also the positioning, right? So on the pricing part, you can either charge a fixed cost, and that can be either the company or the employee, or you can charge something variable. Per transaction, per active user, per loan book, per anything that is variable. It's very important to charge a fixed cost, and we have a strong preference for that, because it misaligns incentive otherwise to have a variable cost. It basically tells the company, hey, you put something great, but the more people use it, the more you will pay. So it's kind of contrary. So like this has worked worse. And from making the employee versus the company pay, this is actually a bit of an eternal question, but you have about 70% of earned wage access companies that make the employee pay, and we are on the remaining 30%. It depends on a country to country. There's huge regulatory and legal implications of that. So like if you think about European countries, most European countries are moving towards the benefit approach versus the payday loan approach. Because simply with the payday loan approach, when the employee pays, we're talking a few thousands of % of interest. So it's the regulator is already putting looking into that, and it's just not going to fly, right? So it flies at the beginning for the first few clients, few hundred clients. But if you want to build a huge business, and if you think that half people and your children and their children would get paid on demand, there is no world where they will pay for that service. It just doesn't make any sense, right? So regulatory and legal are the main barriers. Obviously, from an ethical perspective, it's much better that the company pays, but that's another question. But from purely business considerations, it's a huge risk to make the employee pay for this service.
Thank you very much.
What a brilliant question. Thank you so much. Ladies and gents, a big round of applause for Benoit Menardo from Payflow Digital. Fantastic. Muy bien. Gracias. Okay, my goodness. Fascinating new tech, disruptive new business models, really, really changing things in the world of fintech and insurtech. And we are now going to move swiftly on. We are going to stay in Spain as we meet Twinco Capital. Twinco Capital is a company that helps buyers build competitive, socially responsible supply chains, very important, by providing liquidity to their suppliers from purchase order to final invoice payment. And we are thrilled to be joined. Please give her a very warm welcome by the founder and CEO of Twinco Capital. Please, big welcome to the stage for Sandra Nolasco.
Good morning. I'm delighted to have the opportunity to present Twinco Capital. Twinco is transforming global trade finance, a $1 trillion market ready for disruption that impacts everybody's day-to-day lives. I know it's a big risk. I didn't mention quantum computing, but there is great power in simple ideas, so bear with me. Many of the things you buy, from clothes to electronics, are produced elsewhere in the world. Take, for example, these 30 companies. They buy $520 billion worth of manufactured products every year. They buy these products from a wide base of suppliers, small and large, often in emerging markets. So the competitiveness of any of these large corporates depends to a large extent on how they're able to support their suppliers, say in Bangladesh or Pakistan, all the way from purchase order to final invoice payment. And the key lever of support is access to affordable funding. Now, banks continue to focus almost exclusively in financial data, and they have a hard time incorporating available technology into their decision-making processes. So you end up with a finance solution which is limited in scope, either not available for SMEs or not in a relevant emerging markets. And most importantly, in what relates to supply chain, banks address only the very tail end of the cycle, once the goods are already there and ready for payment. But suppliers need affordable funding much earlier to start production. So Twinco analyzes historical relationships between buyers and suppliers and uses machine learning to assess risk. So we can fund suppliers that have consistently delivered well and responsibly, not only the suppliers with the biggest balance sheets. And we do it through a top-of-the-class technology and a fully digital user experience. And yes, we do it globally, covering most of the key sourcing markets. Twinco is the first company to offer corporates a solution that covers them, their suppliers, and their full production cycle. From purchase order to final invoice payment, we reduce cost, we reduce risk, and we generate opportunity in the supply chain. Twinco has been growing by multiples of 5, and we have already funded more than $100 million worth of purchase orders. We are well on track to reach $3 billion by 2025. Scaling at every level, we are always on the lookout for expanding our customers base, our investors pool, and our team. So please, do reach out. Thank you very much, Twinco.
Fantastic. Absolutely brilliant. Great job. Excellent. Brought that in. Made sure that last sentence summed everything up as the timer just ran out. Absolutely great. Okay, but what did the judges think about Twinco? We have a question already. A good sign. If you could introduce yourself to the room. Thank you.
Hello, Nicolas from Euraseo. Just a question about what data, I mean, how do you ingest the data, or how do you connect to the data? What kind of source of data do you use?
Well, actually, the biggest source of data is the buyers themselves. So we engage with the large corporates, and we analyze all of the historical data on purchase orders, invoices, how did their suppliers deliver in the past. On the basis of that data, and then crossing that data with external data, we have a very good view on what is the probability that those suppliers will deliver those goods. And there's a very strong network effect in the data itself, because the more suppliers we have, and we already have more than 100 suppliers onboarded across 12 countries, the more data we have in respect of different buyers, and we are actually unique in that perspective. And we get data which is commercial performance, financial performance, and very importantly, ESG performance, not only from suppliers and the buyers, but the transaction itself.
Okay, thank you.
Fantastic. A very thorough answer there from Sandra. Thank you. Do we have any more questions? Yes, the lady in the stylish dress. Thank you.
Hi. So what part of the supply chain are you financing? Does it include also cargo, freight release, anything in that space, or is it just for raw materials?
Well, that's actually one of the beauties of Twinco, is that because we actually fund the supplier in that perspective, so when they get the purchase order, they can take up to 60% of the value of that purchase order up front, and they can use that money to buy the raw materials, to book their freight, to actually fund the production, and then once they get the goods delivered and they have the invoice, they get the other 40%, and then we wait for the buyer to pay us.
Thank you.
Excellent. Excellent. What fantastic questions, very thorough answers. Ladies and gents, a big round of applause for Sandra Nolasco from Twinco Capital. Muchísimas gracias. Okay, wonderful. This is just your regular reminder. If you haven't already, please do install the South Summit app. You never know what magic might happen when you start connecting with our wonderful community here and joining us virtually via the streams. Okay, we are going to now stay in beautiful Spain and meet UELS. So UELS connects multiple payment gateways in one integration, allowing merchants to manage payments, subscriptions, refunds, cancellations, and chargebacks locally as well as globally. And we are delighted to be joined now by their CEO and co-founder. Please welcome to the stage, Maria Luke.
Thank you. Hola, my name is Maria, and we are Wealth, the payment management and automation platform for small and medium businesses. 78% of customers are more loyal to businesses that offer multiple payment options. But to implement multiple payment options is a very technical and expensive process. Not to say that is not accessible for the 90% of companies globally. That's precisely the goal of Wealth. To break down this technical barrier, Wealth sits between payment processors and businesses, making these technologies more accessible and usable. With a single integration or no code, you can customize your services and payment checkout, setting more than 20 processors in one click, and reconcile all the data in a platform. Once this process is done, you can share your payment request by link, QR code, or digital invoice, or for the technical ones, using our API integrations. The digital payments industry is huge, With Wealth, we are focused on the middle of the pyramid, targeting a 12 billion euros market in Europe. Of course, we have competitors since the opportunity is enormous, but their products are more technical and focused for the enterprise level. With Wealth, we are focusing, they are building very technical products for the enterprise segment, and like them, we are simplifying the experience of use of those products to make it possible for small companies to operate like big ones. Our business model is a SaaS B2B based on the MRR of our customers. The bigger the revenue, the higher our rate. We've been in a private beta for 6 months and live only for 1 month, growing more than 12% in revenue every month and maintaining our burn rate. We expect to break even in 1.4 years. After reinventing our business and making a radical pivot to Wealth, both founders and our diverse and experienced team, led by women, are focused in leading the European payments industry. We are very lucky to have great partners, and we are here to help companies grow, but also to keep partnering with key industry players in order to make their technologies more accessible. Thank you very much.
Muy bien.
Yes.
Fantastic. Okay, and great to see the warm reception from the audience there. Good stuff. Okay, that was a fantastic pitch. So much great information there. We have a question already from my man in the red shirt. If you could introduce yourself to the room, thank you.
Hi, this is Juan from Startup West, guys. So you need to go to all the SMEs in the market. How do you plan to go there? I mean, going to big companies is complex, but it's big business. How do you go to the SMEs, which is one of the most complex sales processes? Thank you.
I think that we don't have to go there yet because we have a big market behind the enterprise level market, and we have a lot of competitors making very technical products, so we are focused like just above them because we think that we have enough market to grow and learn from those customers to make our product more sophisticated step by step and then go to the enterprise level. But we are not yet.
Okay. Great question. Very, very good answer. Do we have any more questions? Yes, from the young lady in the corner there. If you could pass down the microphone. Look at this teamwork. Fantastic. If you could introduce yourself to the room.
Yeah, hello. I'm Ines from Notion Capital. We're a B2B SaaS investor, and I understand the kind of model. I'm very curious, given that you're targeting SMEs, why, as of now, your revenue model is more based on only a SaaS fee instead of transaction, given that more in the payment side of things?
Yeah, it's a good question. The feedback that we have received from our customers is that they are not feeling comfortable paying a fee, like above a fee. So we think that we are putting more friction with that pricing model instead of making them pay like a recurrent subscription. So that's the model that we are using now, but who knows, maybe we have to change it in the future. But now we think that we are putting less friction this way.
Okay, excellent. 2 fantastic questions there. Ladies and gents, one more time, please give it up for Maria Lu. Fantastic. Okay, we are going to move swiftly on, staying in Spain, a country I am honored and very lucky to call my home. We are now going to meet Vitans, and Vitans is the first life insurance that helps people live better and longer by incentivizing and rewarding their healthy habits. That sounds very, very interesting, and I'm really looking forward to finding out all about it from their CEO and co-founder. Please give a huge round of applause to Ana Zamora.
Thank you, everyone. Well, I was just introduced. My name is Ana Zamora, co-founder and CEO of Vitans. We're going to try and make this quite interactive, so if I could please ask you to raise your hands. Who here would like to live better and longer? Nice. Good. That's what I was expecting. However, most of us are likely to work for a company. And let me ask you this. Which company wouldn't like their employees to be happy and engaged? Right? Most of us as well. So there you have it. We're answering the problems that we are solving. Companies know that demotivated employees are a waste of money. Up to 1/3 of their resources go to waste. They try to offer compelling benefits to really mitigate this. But what happens is that most of the times they're not valued because they lack the main thing. They lack engagement. We believe that by improving the lives of employees, we improve the companies they work in. And there you have it. We focus on life. We are a life business with capital letters. But we are a life insurance, but not a traditional one. Believe us, we don't want you to die in order to use your product. Instead, what we want to do is really add value from day one and ensure that we improve the lives of the employees. And you're wondering, OK, and how do you do that? Well, we've turned well-being into a game, and this is how you play it. First, we calculate your biological age. That is to do with the actual age of your body, not with the date of birth or when you were born. It's to do with how well you take care of yourself. And that's exactly what we do. We work with you to help you improve the way you look after yourself. How? Well, we're going to propose to you a series of personalized challenges and activities to help you build good habits and routines to improve your well-being. But don't worry, you don't have to do this alone. You have all your co-workers to do this with. You can participate in company challenges to compete with, for example, to see who takes the most amount of steps in a given month. And what comes next? You'll be wondering now. So, well, this is what we do. Going for a run is probably quite nice in itself, but it'll be even nicer if you got rewarded for it, right? So that's exactly where we come in. This is the gamification piece. We reward you for going for a run. For example, with a free massage, meditation class, or a yoga session. And this way, we create what we call the well-being loop. We start with calculating your biological age, assessing how well you look after yourself already, as you are, helping you and challenging you to improve the way you live, rewarding you for it, and this way we keep getting you to come back to the app. So the more you use it, the better you live. Finally,
I'm so sorry. I think we've run out of time. Ladies and gents, a big round of applause for Vitans.
Thank you.
Thank you. I always feel bad interrupting, but rules are rules. I like that app because I was wondering, is it going to give you a hard time if you have too much wine? No, but it's actually about rewarding, encouraging. That is great. But what did our judges think? Do we have any questions? Immediately a question from our friend in the black shirt. If you could please introduce yourself to the room.
Hi, Virginia from H-Rods. Hi, Anna. One question. In the past 12 months, there have been a lot of different competitors also emerging in the similar space. What do you think is your particular differentiation from any of the other guys playing something similar?
That's a great question. Firstly, I think our real competitors are incumbent insurance companies. We're not competing in the well-being space. We sell life insurance that helps you to live better. So there's many of these competitors. Our main differentiator is that we not only improve people's lives, but also that we provide this engagement piece, this social component that has driven our engagement figures through the roof. So average employee benefits engagement, well, average is around 10–15%. 20 is pretty good. We are getting over 50, and in some groups even up to 90. So that's our true differentiator.
Excellent. Great question. Thank you. Do we have any more questions? Yes, from our friend at the end of the row. If you could introduce yourself one more time, amigo. Thank you.
Yes, Damien Balson, Connexo Ventures. So how are you going to scale revenue right now for something like this? And are you going to focus mostly at Spain, or are you going to go outside Spain?
Well, we raised 3 million last year that we used to develop our product and launch Spain, and we're getting ready to go to the rest of Europe and LATAM next. So obviously it's multi-country, but also multi-product. As you can see, well-being can be linked to not just life insurance, health insurance, accidental insurance. So we are going to focus in expanding our insurance product portfolio and going to other markets as well.
Fantastic question. And those are our 2 questions from the judges. I like the t-shirt. It says younger than yesterday. Shoot that into my veins. A big round of applause for Anna Zamora from Vitans. Thank you.